Hi, so yeah, this is the first dev blog that I am making for this project. For this first one, I'm just exploring Unreal Engine 5. For this first audio reactive effect that I'm making, I plan to make a pretty simple one. It's just going to be a simple loop, a looping particle effect, and each of the particles react to the audio as the loop continues. So here I am making the first emitter, and I am just sorting out the settings so that I can get it into a spherical shape. So at this point I am setting up the audio spectrum within the nodes. So this is going to basically act as the thing that reads the audio so that it can react. It's the audio reactor within the audio reactor, if that would make sense. But the purpose of this first dev blog, this first audio visualizer, really is just to sort of test the waters with Unreal Engine 5. Prior to this project, I hadn't really had too much experience with the software, so I just wanted to see what it's capable of, really. A few months ago, I first heard about the Niagara systems and what they were capable of, and I thought this would be a prime opportunity to see what I could do with them, really. So at this next stage, I was just sort of molding the shape of the circle with the curve tool on the right. And as well as this, I spent some time working with the color system, using the color ramp to have alternating colors at different parts of the particle effect. So yeah, here I am using the color ramp tool. I was having some issues having the color come across to the actual effect on the left, but later in the video, once the effect actually gets some movement outside of it being a circle, the color becomes much more pronounced. So at this stage, I am just trying different movement patterns, seeing how the effect works differently and when applied to different forces, if that makes sense. This is prior to adding the actual audio, but it gave me a sense of what the effect would look like once the audio visualizer and the audio would sort of become one. Prior to creating this effect, I never really had an image in mind of what I was looking to make. I just wanted to create an item within Unreal that could do audio visualization. So yeah, at this stage, as I said earlier, I was playing around with the forces, seeing what it was capable of. But here I am really close to finishing all the parameters of the effect, and in a moment I'll be moving it over to the viewpoint and giving it its first test, really. So at this point I am done making the visualizer. I am happy with it. Here I am putting it into the viewport just so I can tie it to some audio and see what it can do. Right now I'm just sort of tweaking the lighting and also making the size a bit bigger of the effect, just so it's more noticeable to see how it really works. So here I was testing it with the first bit of audio and it was going way too crazy. So I did have to tone down the strength at which it reads the audio, just so it's at a more controlled rate really. Now at this point I have everything ready. I have the audio in place, I have the visualizer in place. At this point it is important to know I do have a second monitor, so on the second screen right now I'm sort of changing the strength as I go, because at some points the bass goes really loud and the effect goes crazy, and then at some points the sound might be prominent, yet not a lot happens. So yeah, I was just playing around in the second monitor to see what would work and what wouldn't, but yeah, this is the effect. So this is the end of my first dev blog. I'm happy with how it turned out, even though it's quite a rudimentary effect. As I stated earlier, I wasn't looking to make anything complicated, just seeing what was possible really. But yeah, this is a good starting point for my first visualizer.